Hey, welcome to Jeff's Unknown. Ow! I love that. How you doing, everybody? I hope you're doing well. I just had to so sentimental. Oh my god. Close Encounters was such a beautiful movie. uh, I'm suffering with a sinus infection, which is making me cry. Can't believe it, just my perfect moment. Listen, I am with you for a bit. I got some goodies. I decided to do a live tonight. Remember, we don't on this channel right now. I don't have a particular time and day that I do lives, so it's like kind of like a free for all thing. But I'm going to listen. I said let's look at some videos aliens caught on camera. I said that would be really cool. We could check that out. And if you haven't seen my other video, I talk about aliens too. Oh my god, I'm talking a lot about aliens these days. I don't know. It's just a fascination right now. There's something telling me we got to talk about it. I don't know. Maybe it's because Three Eye Atlas. What was it? 3i Atlas, that famous little satellite. That's satellite now. I'm sorry, I have to rephrase my words. That object that's in our solar system. Yeah, some people think it's a spaceship. Some people think it's a comet. We don't know what it is. A lot of weird shit's going around. And so why not? So what about you? What do you think? Didi House, hey, how you doing? Yeah, hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. What do you think? What do you think about all this footage of aliens being, captured? It's hard, eh? It's hard today. With CGI today, it's just absolutely impossible now to even give any type of credibility towards anything. It's up to a point where now, if it's not before a certain date, it's really hard to believe. It's really hard to say for a fact. If you weren't there, it's hard to say. It's hard to say that what we see is what we get. And that, unfortunately, is the reality in which we live in. I've been telling this a lot. I mean, AI is fun, but it does push us in a world of make-believe. And it's very hard because now, and I'm going to tell you, even now, going to court and saying, hey, so-and-so went on my property, look at my camera. And you look at it and you say, yeah, it's him. But in reality, it's an AI-generated video. So it's really hard when you look at, videos of ghosts and spirits, orbs, UFOs. It's really hard to put any type of credibility towards it. And, it's pretty sad because ufology is getting a beating. And I've already said this in the past. I'm also going to talk about ufology. I find ufology needs to bring back the human aspect. You can't go too in detail, too in technical terms, because you lose people. You lose that aspect. I mean, you can go around and start passing a meter and saying, "Oh, something was here," but usually it's the human experience which we lack in the whole entire variable. So that's why I say to myself, ufology needs a lot of work, a lot of adapting, and a lot of, I think, a lot of maturing to do. I'm not saying in a bad sense. I'm just saying it needs to evolve to something a little more understanding. Unfortunately, I was on the internet the other day and I was looking and I wanted to share this. And there was some paranormal videos, and there's this one here I found hilarious, and I wanted to share this with you. It's a cop, right? And it's a police officer who gets called to a call, and I don't know where it is, but the cop got so scared He got so scared after hearing a scream, and I want you to watch it because it's hilarious. You should see his face. Watch this. This is something. It's priceless. Now, don't tell me that's not priceless. Let's watch this again. I just want to show this before we get into the UFOs. I remember talking to a few police officers, and but you know what? Well, even though I talked to a few police officers, once upon a time, I used to be an alarm security guard. So I used to respond to security alarms that went off, and we would go off and investigate. It was cheaper instead of the police, so they got security, and so I used to do that and did that for, oh my god, uh, 2 years. I liked it, but eventually, you know, I got a better career, so, but it was awesome because I remember going into these buildings. There was one school in particular. Actually, if you ever watch the new Karate Kid, where you have Jackie Chan and the other one, what's his name? The guy who did Karate Kid there, the Italian kid there, Russo, but the actor. Okay, I don't remember his real name. Well, there is a part where there's a high school there. So the kid, well, the Karate Kid, we could per se, went, and it was filmed in Montreal, and that very school, it was abandoned school because after a while, I think the school board, it was an English school there in Montreal. And I had an alarm in that school, and weird shit happened to me when I went into there. And I'm serious. Karate Kid, the new one that came out there with Jackie Chan and the Russo kid there, the kid. He's like 60 something now. But in that movie, there's this high school that the kid goes to, supposedly New York, but it's not. It's filmed in Montreal. I got an alarm in that school, and I went into that school on a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday morning during the day. Beautiful day. I remember walking in there and hearing voices, and I thought I was not alone. And I swear to God, and there was an alarm, exactly. And there was another. I remember talking to the alarm company, and they said, "Okay, there's another alarm a little bit further where you're at," because there were different alarms for, I don't know. There was different alarms in that school, and I remember them telling me, "Yeah, there's another alarm." What movement? Well, there's nothing. I'm in that room. I'm there. I said, I'm here. So it was weird. Now, obviously, they could say it was a technical error or technical something and send somebody there and go check it out. But something was making the alarms go crazy. And it was that very same school. That is a weird ass school. That's an old school that was part of the English school board. I think it was school called Face. I'm not too sure, but yeah, in that movie, that school, that's where I went. Awesome, eh? So I went to many places to check it out, and it was something. I'm going to do another live one day on my paranormal experiences. It's awesome. So listen, let's look at some of the alien stuff. Oh yeah. All right, let's check it out. Let's do it. Oh, hold on. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I remember being very young watching that movie, and it inspired me. It was unbelievable. Steven Spielberg did such a good job. He portrayed many, many aspects in that movie. I don't know, there was this thing with Steven Spielberg, George Lucas. They must have had some type of prior knowledge of alien stuff. They must have been briefed or something. How could they have known so much in detail? Oh, Carol here it says it will be difficult to toss through the fault of. Okay, I'm sorry, I just didn't understand that last part, but I think I understand what it means to have a hard understanding what is true and what is false, right? But before I go to the video, I just want is because they must have had some type of prior knowledge. They must have had some prior knowledge. The detail, it was amazing. You know when he is in the truck and he comes up to he's lost. He's trying to find this place that he's trying to go, and all of a sudden his truck dies, and the train tracks that he's at, and there's like ding 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 ding, and everything goes crazy. Well, he made contact with them. They implanted like a crypto, a visual crypto something in this head, and many experiencers have said that when they have came in contact with these things, that was it. They had these messages that were coming, and they for some strange reason had a certain obsession with certain things. So Steven Spielberg really did his homework. Really did his homework. And I find that movie depicted a lot of things. And remember, when the spaceship comes down, he finds his way there. And remember, there was a column of people that were pre-selected by the government to go, but the aliens came to him because they chose him and the others that were there. So you see, it's very, when you watch it a few times, it's a long movie, but when you watch it a few times, and look at the fake pandemic, huh? The fake pandemic, what they did in that area. How they made it believe that there was a pandemic. Everybody had to evacuate. See? I'm telling you. Movies talk to us and you don't know it. A lot of people don't realize there are messages like The Matrix. The movie The Matrix. Oh my God, I don't know where to start. There are so many things. Like even Battlefield Earth with John Travolta. Unbelievable. A lot of people didn't like that movie. I find the acting was like, eh. And there were a lot of things that could have been a little more realistic, but apparently the book is amazing. So, yeah, there is so much layers in that, and you can't bullshit me and say, "Oh, it's just the movie. It's just the movie." You know, like look at taking The Exorcist for an example. The movie The Exorcist. Now that when that came out, it scared the bejesus out of everybody. Everybody of that generation, my mother's generation, when they saw that movie, they were petrified because of the connection in which the people had. It scared everybody. It was so surreal. But a lot of things they didn't say, but on the set, there were a lot of paranormal activity. So there was quite a bit of things that happened in that movie that reflect on a lot of things that people experience. I have a very good friend who is an exorcist, who does perform real exorcisms, and I participated in one. I was there. I saw with my own eyes, and I'm going to interview him soon, actually. Jared Neal. What an amazing guy. Jewish guy, very evangelical on all aspects, Christian, Judeo. Oh my God, this guy knows it all. And very humble, but what a badass when it comes to spiritual stuff. And I'm going to interview him soon on this channel. It'll be great. He does quite a bit of good work for the big cheese up there. All right, so that's if you believe. If you don't, look, I told people on this channel, well, maybe not on this channel, but my French channel, I say, regardless of what you believe in, it doesn't matter. If you don't believe in it, it's fine, but you can have an open mind towards it, or just don't watch it. Because on this channel, I'm going to show all types of stuff, like evangelical stuff, UFOs, everything that contradicts itself. But whatever, let's jump in there and find out what makes people believe, tick, and what is out there, because your experience is different from mine. Same experience, different perspective. Okay, let's go to the next video. Oh yeah. So there is a video. Now, obviously, it's quite popular, this one. A woman is filming from inside a plane, filming outside. And this object, I'm going to show you. Watch this. Now that's close. Now look at it slowly. You damn right. It's an object, metallic. So the question is, a lot of people say, it's fake or whatever. But I'm going to tell you, that looks pretty damn real to me. And from what I gather from people who have studied these type of phenomena, told me that is pretty legit. And what can we learn from that? Well, for one, I think a lot of pilots do see stuff up there, but they don't report it. There's a lot of pilots now that some of them are coming vocal about it. They're coming out and saying, hey, listen, there's some shit up there. There's some stuff up there. We can't explain, but there's a lot of weird stuff up there. But the problem is we know for a fact that these objects that we're seeing, sometimes they're in a different spectrum of light, because we've noticed that when you use different types of filters, night vision, infrared, whatever, we're capturing them. But some of these things right there, these are not weather balloons. These are not made up little marionettes, or what do you call those, Chinese lanterns? Come on. This is clearly an object that looks like some type of vessel. Now, it doesn't mean necessarily that there's someone in there. It could also be a drone. Now, what I mean by drone, there's more like a probe. And I think these things are everywhere. And I'm going to tell you, one day I'm going to do a live about the pictures in which I took at my mother's place. And I remember I was doing random pictures all over the house, because at my mother's place, it is extremely active. There's a lot of things that my mother's told me about that place, and that I have witnessed to as well. I mean, I've seen stuff. And I didn't take it with these things on the cell phone, it's hard to capture anything. But old cameras, like older cameras that are digital, but like I think I had a Canon. You press it and the lens comes out, and then you could take 1,000 pictures. But when I was using that, I remember cleaning the lens pretty good. Now, obviously, some people are going to say it's dust, it's this, it's that, it's orbs. It kills me. It kills me when people say, it's just a little bit dust. Oh, come on. The pictures I took were absolutely amazing. And I did some tests because my mother had the same camera as mine. So what I did is I took the two cameras together and I took a picture at the same time. And there was an orb I caught in one camera, and the other camera, you could actually see the line. So it was in movement. Dust, if it was dust on the lens, why would you have the same type of orb and you could see the line as if it's in movement? You could, when it's in movement. So we know as a fact that right there was legit. So anyways, I took a few pictures, wonderful things that came out, orbs and stuff, and I'll do another live and I'll show that to you. I wasn't thinking about talking about tonight, but just the same, I'm going to show you. Where I'm getting at is that these metallic spheres or like these probes and stuff like that, I caught one at my mother's house. It was inside the house. It was no larger than, I can say, maybe the size of a pool ball, maybe a little bit bigger. It was about this big because I was trying to compare with, the picture, and it was pure metallic. And when I took a picture, you could see the light from the flash reflecting on one side. You could actually see where it actually reflected the light. And underneath there is this stream of plasma that goes down like this and comes back up to the object. Now, I wish I had the picture with me. I will show it to you another live when I'm going to show paranormal pictures and stuff. Oh, trust me, you're going to be blown away. And I said to myself, sons of bitches, they're not just in the air. They're in people's homes. They observe people. There could be one right now. I definitely believe that if you're a higher intelligence, you want to know how humans are, how they develop or whatever, monitor, for sure they're going to put something in your house or travel around. Like the movie. Remember the movie They Live with Roddy Piper? You know? He turns around, and he finds these sunglasses. He sees these sunglasses. He's like, okay. And then he puts them on. And then all of a sudden, the world around him totally radically changes. He sees objects in the sky flying around. He sees billboards with hidden messages, then turns towards something that had a different intelligence, like well, not different intelligence, but different look, human. And realized, and what I love about that movie is that he says, yeah, I knew there was something like this. So even he knew, the character knew that the world in which he was living was not real, that everything around him was fake. And by putting on those glasses, so that's why a lot of people now have found a way to use cameras with special filters and stuff like that, and are able to capture a lot of these vessels or whatever they are. Okay. These phenomena. That's why they call it UAPs now, unidentified aerial phenomenon, which I think is a better analogy towards what it is than flying objects, because we don't know if it could be also plasmic, plasma, I don't know how the technical version, I just say a plasma ball. And look at these orbs that I've been taking. They're not physical in the form, but when you take pictures, you can actually see definition. So when I did take a picture of that metallic sphere in my mother's house, like my whole universe changed. I said, holy shit. And there's just so much other stuff than that. And I'm like, wow. And I remember once I was in Ville-Salle in Montreal. In Ville-Salle, there's the Carrefour Agrignon. That's a big shopping mall in Ville-Salle. Huge, huge. And it's made like an X. It's so weird. And I'm walking on the side of the road. And all of a sudden, I was about to take a bus to go to the metro, subway for some Americans. I get in the bus. Just before I get in the bus, I see this round object. And that's another picture I have. This is stuff I don't know why I'm not prepared. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm not prepared. I wasn't planning. I was just showing some videos here, but you got me in the mood about this. So I look up and I see this metallic sphere. Now, this thing was big, okay? I could say, big like a table. A little bit bigger than a table. Let's say the diameter was about 5 feet in diameter. I think that would give it justice. 5-6 feet in diameter. This thing was big, not that big. So people are like, "Oh, Godzilla!" No. There's okay. It was above the mall and it was stationary and it wasn't moving. And I took a few pictures and I said, "Holy shit, that's a metallic sphere." And it's not moving. It's not a drone. Some people a drone, a balloon. Oh. It's like nails on a board. No. So I see this thing. So I go to the driver of the bus and I say, "Hey, look at that. Do you see that?" He goes, no reaction. Like me, I'm like flabbergasted. So the bus does the contour almost like around the whole mall. And I'm just looking at it. And I took a few pictures, but I have one that's really clear. And this thing didn't move. So I reported it. I did. There's like this group so I reported it. And it was fascinating. So right there, seeing those two things, it opened up my mind that there are a lot of orbs just circling around. And obviously a lot of them we don't see. And look how he reacted. A lot of people just see shit and they're like, they're more like, okay, let me text. Let me my phone. That's why people don't. This is what gets me mad. You sit down in a park and all the kids are playing. That's if they're at the park, and all their parents are, they're not looking up. No, people are seeing at nighttime. I'm at a fireplace looking up at the sky and my kids are on their tablet. I'm like, what are you doing? Look at the sky. It's nice. And this is where it really gets me mad is that people don't really tend to look and pay attention. So there's an advantage for them too as well. So yeah, there's metallic spheres everywhere. I mean, even there's that one, that Booga one, the Booga one there where they captured it and they saw it flying. So that's starting to be a little bit debunked. I'm not too crazy about that because I don't know. Hey man, what's up? Xander man, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for your comments, by the way. I really appreciate. I appreciate everybody liking and following, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. I mean, in the French world, I'm just like lots of people, but now I'm concentrating on a lot of the English aspect because, ladies and gents, you have no idea. I am going to really go deep, and I have access to so many. Well, obviously, there's a lot of French authors and experiencers, but there are some who write books in English. I got one right here, and I interviewed her. She's an amazing lady. She really talks the talk, and she really talks, and she's seen a lot. And you know what? Every time I talk to somebody who's different from one experiencer to another, it's not the same. It's a whole different experience. It's very interesting. Hey, let's look at another one here. There's another one I saw here, a video of something weird. And apparently, well, like I said, I'd like to know what you guys think. I think it's interesting. I think it's something that could be, yeah, why not? Let's call it real. All right, let's check it out. You see that? See that little thing that's passing by? Wow. Just look at that. Very typical. Very typical physically. Now, I'm going to pause on that for a second. I really want to talk about this. This is something that really interests me when it comes to footage like that. A lot of people have talked about these things as interdimensional beings, right? And sometimes they enter our reality and they exit from our reality. But there's just too much evidence that points that these creatures can come and go at different areas, different locations, different. Look, I'm going to tell you a story about my aunt. I'm just going to minimize this for a second. My aunt, God rest her soul, she's dead now. She passed away, but my God, I got stories to tell you with her. There was a party at a house. I remember being at the party, and I remember we were all there and having a great time, and she took a picture. But this was a real picture, like not digital. It was like real, or was it digital? No, I think it was a real one. Yeah, because I remember a few weeks later, she calls me up historic. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jeff, do you got, no, don't even, she couldn't even explain it to me. When I went to go visit her, she took this big picture like this and she just slid it right to me. And I got to call my cousin. I got to get access to that picture. I don't know where it is. But that type of creature, just like that, came into the focus of the picture of the lens, and you see it. You see it coming out of something right there in the middle of the living room. This thing. And it looks so much like a gray alien. Well, typical gray, but something in this nature like this. Identical to that. Maybe not as elongated head, was more like roundish, squarish, with a groove in the middle. But this thing was absolutely phenomenal. I got to find this picture. It's crazy. But what do you think? What do you seriously think? Do you seriously think that these creatures really come from outer space, maybe so far away, or do they really come from different alternate realities or different dimensions? Maybe they live in some type of vortex, like Stranger Things. Have you seen the show Stranger Things? I love season 5. I love the fact how they depict the upside down and the other world and this wormhole. It is absolutely amazing how they depict it. I said to myself, maybe something like that exists. Maybe there is some type of temporal space between our world and another world, and there's this membrane that separates us. And these things come and go through this membrane, or let's say this back door type thing. Who knows? I just find it very fascinating that cameras can capture these things, and you look at it, you could see right here. If you look right here, the eyes are right here, the head's right there, the chin, the neck. It's a little bit has like a little of a hunchback, but it's not totally illuminated. Like you can't really see high definition. And I remember, and another thing, when I show my paranormal pictures, 2 summers ago, I took a picture and I captured something. And let me see if I have it on my computer here. Like I said, I wasn't me. This is my problem. I start something, and then I talk off topic and I just go off. And often that happens. And then all of a sudden I find myself, shit, I should have brought that. Oh, I should have brought this. I should have got that done. But that's who I am. I'm the type of person who likes to just go off out. That's why lives for me, I work so better with lives than I do doing a recording. I'm telling you, I could do a recording. It'll take me an hour just to make 15 minutes. Live just comes out naturally. And that's what I want people to feel. I want you to feel like if we're around a fire and we're just shooting the shit, like having a great time. And I want people to feel like that. I don't want you to feel being lectured to. I don't like that. I learned more with my aunts, uncles, and cousins and friends sitting around and talking about experiences, and unbelievable what I've learned. Oh my God. And it's fascinating when people realize that the world in which we live in is so amazing. There is so many things to learn from, and it's so unique. And yeah, there are a lot of things that we question. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of weird stuff, and that's why I love the paranormal. Going into it, learning, venturing, exploring, doing all the good stuff, baby. Oh yeah. Now let's see, where did I put that? Did I actually? No, of course not. It had not to be there. Okay, you know what? That's going to save me for another live. Oh, I love this picture here. I'm going to do something. I'm going to show you. It's in French, but you guys have to see this. This is hilarious. And I've already posted this on my Facebook once. It's so funny. Okay, here we go. This is hilarious. Wait. Oh, where it is. Here it is. Let's see. Okay, here he goes. It's in French, all right? So it says, tu regardes par la fenêtre de ta cuisine et tu vois ça. So I translate it. He goes, you're looking out your side, your kitchen window, and you see this. What do you do? And I know a lot of people what they would do. I'm telling you, I know a lot of people what they do. But what would you do? Hey, how you doing? Come in for a coffee. You want to grab a beer? Want a cigar? Let's go in the back. Or mind your goddamn business. Get out of my. I don't know what people would do, but I don't know what I would do, man. I don't know. And that reminds me of that special. There was this famous guy. He was constantly getting visited, and there was one there where it's in his kitchen window. It's an old video, so everybody should know this or have seen it. There's an alien peeks out his head and comes back down. And then there was another one where there's an alien looking through his patio window, back and forth like that. And and you could hear it in his voice. He's really scared. I don't know what I would do. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I don't think I would want to be in that situation. I don't know. Nah, I'm not that type of guy. I know some people would be like, "Oh yeah, let's hi, how you doing? I want to say hi. I want to be nice. Yeah, come on, tell me your secrets." I don't know if I want to be like that. I told a guy once. His name, he's the ex director of MUFON Canada, Eric Tessier. I said, "What would you do?" He's, "Oh, yeah, I would go and I would say hi and I would shake hands or whatever." You crazy, man? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not that type. I'm very brave when it comes to like a lot of things, but when it comes to, I don't know, I'm not too sociable in that aspect because you don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know if you're dealing with something benevolent or malevolent. You don't know. It's really, I don't know. Let's say I wouldn't want to say have a, I know a lot of people would like, oh yeah, I don't know. Like Independence Day. Remember back in 1997 when Independence Day came out and these ships came down and it was one over Los Angeles, New York, and all that. And like Will Smith, his girlfriend, she's a stripper and her friend is there. She goes, "Oh, after work, I'm just gonna go up on there and I'm just gonna, hey, look at this big sign, welcome, make yourself at home. Oh, I want to go there." And she's like, "I don't know, you should do that. I have a bad feeling." "Oh, come on. No, you have a bad feeling. Promise me you won't." She goes, "Okay, I promise." But in reality, she goes. And right there on that building, there's like tons of people going, "Yeah, yeah." And I'm looking, I'm like, I don't think you want to be doing that. And then, well, we all know what happened, right? So I told you so type thing. But I don't know. I like to look from a distance. And after so long, then I'll probably approach. But oh, hell no. No. Depends. Like I said, it all depends on the variable. Last one here. Now, this is not an alien per se, but have you ever heard? Well, you probably have heard it about reptilians, some type of reptilians. Well, I'm really starting to believe that some of this stuff is not made up. I think it has some type of weight behind it. I can't say absolutely it's reptilians. I know that there's a race of intelligent beings that do walk the earth that look like humans. I call them the observers. I actually talk on the radio many times, actually. Here, let me just minimize it. There you go. I've talked on the radio, on the French radio, about that, about these observers. And what they do is they come and there are some people like myself who just know. I like I said, I throughout my whole life, I knew that I had some type of capabilities. I had some sentry, I felt things, I know. And I just look at somebody, I'm like, I know. And I've seen one. I've seen, I think, one or two. And there was one in particular that was at the edge of the street. And I was driving and I was turning in the corner and I looked and I didn't see his eyes. And I knew right there that he was an observer. Okay. I knew because he was smiling at me. And I think we've made contact, but he knew that I knew, but I wasn't afraid of him. And I knew they were there. And I know they do. They walk around and some of them, when you look at someone, you're like, kind of weird. You have a bad gut feeling. Well, maybe sometimes it's true. And there are a few occasions that we've found on video that these beings are sometimes they have some type of inferiority when it comes to this, that sometimes it happens that we get to see them, that there are things that just don't that don't things add up. So when we look at this video, you tell me what you think. But I know for a fact by my gut and feeling, and it's kind of logical too, man. There are creatures or beings, whatever, that walk among us and observe. I just know. So here we go. Let's watch this, okay?
That's how security camera manages to record to very strange people that apparently have the appearance of a reptile when they walked quietly down a street. The origin of this video it is still unknown, but you know what, I was recorded in Brazil. Miles and hundreds of social network users debate if this video is real or they just came from a costume party.
So the question is, oh, sorry about that. So the question is what do you think? Do you think these things are real? You think? Or is it just cameras? Do cameras really capture the reality of things? I mean, there's just too much that, hunter cameras, these hunter, the ones there, yeah, they've caught many things on there, weird looking creatures. So the question is, you ask yourself, do you believe? Do you believe without a doubt, now, regardless of what I showed you tonight, that sometimes cameras can reveal the reality of what is there? Like, for an example, that creature that was passing by that looked like an alien that was coming in and out. Now, obviously, there may be some type of logical explanation, but something like that looks pretty convincing. But let's say it is fake. Just give it like a 180. It's fake. Okay, let's just say it's fake. But is there a possibility that these things have the ability to be invisible and to walk from one dimension to another, or some one reality to another? So these are the questions, the fundamental questions. It's not just if it's real, but if those things do exist, which I believe they do, they must have this type of capabilities, because rely on the source experiencers, people who have witnessed, who have lived through this, who have seen them with their own eyes. People talk about it. There's a unanimous thing that they don't need to knock at the door and ring the doorbell to come and say, hey, what's up? They could just show up at any minute, any time, any minute, anywhere. So the question is, when you really put it down to that, do you believe? That's the question. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think. So write in the description. Tell me how I'm doing. Is this good? You like it? Is it positive? Yes. I want to know. I need some feedback. I got to continue working on my content. There's shorts that are coming out every week. There's every Monday. There's a little. Oh, no. I'm sorry about that. No, that's the other page. I'm all confused. There is a few shorts that are going to be coming out. Okay. That I'm trying to push as much as I can to attract people to come. I really want people to feel at home here, and I really want to build this community, because, like I said, we're not even 100 subscribers, not even 50 yet, and I really want this to be a good beginning. I want to start off on a good foot, and I really want to have fun with you guys. Oh yes, because you know what really makes it really worth it is that if you make a connection with what I'm saying, it doesn't have, you don't even have to tell me. If it just makes a connection with you and some things make sense, that is my goal is it's there. It's done. I've done my job. But I want to have fun with you. I want to explore the unknown. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great week. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow. Is that how you do it? No, that's Facebook. It's mostly just like and subscribe. Yeah, I'm so used to Facebook. I am so off Facebook now. I'm fed up with Facebook. That's why YouTube and eventually maybe Rumble, but I'm going to just work on YouTube right now, because I find YouTube is a lot more friendlier than Facebook. So guys, have yourself a good one, and I will talk to you soon. And don't forget, exploring the unknown together is what it's about. Oh yeah.